today we are gonna go see spatial audio in a car. I'm bringing my brother along. This is Zach. I've mentioned him before. He's the audio engineer that I've mentioned. So I figured this would be like a good thing to bring him to because we're gonna go see spatial audio in a car. Alrighty. We've got
snacks.
We've got beef jerky and Diet Dr. Pepper. I think we're doing road trip snacks.
And Red Bull.
Oh, and Red Bull too. All right, so we are in Union Square, San Francisco. Yep. We're gonna go see the new Mercedes Benz with spatial audio in it. You're an audio engineer. What do you think of spatial audio?
I mean, it's really cool. If you think Apple Music has this really cool thing where they play a song in mono and then they play it in stereo and then they play it in spatial audio. And so spatial audio, I don't know the exact, but it's like 192 channels as opposed to stereo is left and right, so it's only 2. So yeah, it's really cool. I think that it's something that's becoming a little bit more standardized. So as it does, I think it's gonna really make the music world a lot better. So
I think I brought the right person for this. Cool. Well, let's go find the Apple Store.
Yeah.
We just got out of the new Mercedes with spatial audio, and to say my car is now ruined might be an understatement.
Man, that was incredible.
Yeah, I love audio, I love music, I love all that stuff. Not as much as he does, but I absolutely love it, and it was absolutely, it was so wild. I'm not going to be able to reproduce it on here because I just have a mono microphone and it's coming through YouTube and YouTube compresses audio, and I don't know how you're listening to this. But Zach, like, you're the audio person. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Spatial audio is just changing the game, like I said, with everything in the audio world. And, you know, from going from stereo to now having this thing, that car, that Mercedes had 15 speakers in it, had a 700 watt amplifier. And so listening to songs like Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke, like, you could literally hear the lyrics going over your head and around your head, and hearing like the chorus on guitars like going around, and it just was insane. And yeah, it totally was. They did a really amazing job with the software, and it really seems like they're really pushing spatial audio, and it sounds really good.
And what's really cool is they did play this one song, and I forget the name. It was a Boom, but basically the audio makes this like cyclone effect going up, and then it like just drops like it's a roller coaster or something. Like that was wild.
People are doing this thing right now where they're taking old songs and remixing them for spatial audio, and so like. The Beatles, they had a Beatles track that, you know, obviously wasn't even mixed in stereo.
Yeah, they did mono stuff.
And it sounded so great mixed in
spatial
and Atmos, and yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, their grand finale song was the 2001 theme song, and 2001 Space Odyssey theme song. And that was just, I've seen that movie a dozen times. I've seen it at home on my nice theater setup. I've seen it in movie theaters. That song has never sounded like that before. It was absolutely wild. My car is ruined. But now we're going to go finish off the day in the city. I think we're going to go to Blue Bottle and then grab some lunch. So
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, so for those that don't know, can you kind of explain what spatial audio is? You're the expert.
Yeah, so spatial audio, back in the day, they would when they recorded a song, it would just be in mono. You've probably heard of mono. So mono is
one channel.
One channel. Everything's coming down one line.
No matter how many speakers you have, you could have a left and a right speaker. You could have a front and a back. It's all going to sound the same coming out of every speaker. It's 100% the same.
Yeah, and then you've probably heard of stereo. Stereo has been around for a long, long time now. It was a left and a right. And what happens is when you can take stuff and then push it left or push it right, it kind of widens the plane, the field of, or the listening plane. It widens it a bit. And so what spatial audio does is it makes stuff 3D. It makes the audio 3D. So as opposed to having stuff in the right ear or the left ear, you can now have stuff in the back of your head or in front of your head or all around your head. And so with AirPods, the way they do that is they use pan and they use delay. So they'll push stuff either forward or backward with delay.
And that's because AirPods are really, truly just a left and a right speaker. They don't have multiple speakers like what we heard today in the Mercedes.
Yeah. And so where the Mercedes differs is there's 15 speakers built into that car. And so they can physically push stuff to different speakers. And so when you have that variation, it's not just pan and delay, you physically have stuff actually moving around in speakers. It just creates a whole nother dimension to audio.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things that I mean, it was a really cool experience to hear for sure.
So it's kind of like if you've gone to a movie theater and they tout having like a Dolby Atmos surround sound system at a movie theater. It's kind of like that. Like Atmos has a bunch of speakers that has up-firing speakers, so it'll have sounds like airplanes flying overhead or bombs dropping or things like that. Like it's a true surround sound experience, not just kind of like faking it with a left and a right channel or just going back to stereo where you just have like a car going from the left and the right and it's kind of panning between the two. It's true like speaker positions, but there's also a software component with it that's controlling all of that as well, which I found really interesting because of course I'm the app guy.
Yeah, and so like when basically in order for these songs to be considered spatial, they have to have when they mix the song in the studio, they have to have certain software that allows them to push stuff not just left or right, but to push it forward, push it backward, push it up, or push it down. And so that software works with what the software in the Mercedes had to allow that amplifier that was in the Mercedes car to be able to decipher that mix that someone did in a studio somewhere.
Yeah, that's really cool. I have spatial audio headphones. I have AirPod Maxes and AirPod Pros, and you have AirPod Maxes, and like they sound amazing. Like they are the best headphones I've ever used, but they're just a left and a right speaker, and they fake the spatial audio with, like you were saying, pan, and what was the other? It was
delay.
Pan and delay, to kind of fake that, like, surround, that true surround, like up and down and left and right and diagonally and in front and back and all that stuff. But this was like a true setup in a car, and I'm still, we went and had lunch and stuff, and like we've been done with the whole demo for well over a couple hours now, and I'm still thinking back to it. It's very impressive. If I had the money, I would absolutely go buy one of these Mercedes, but I do not have the money. Please like and subscribe so I can have the money. Look where we are. Apple Park Visitor Center. We wanted to stop and get a shirt and a coffee cake. If you've ever come to the Apple Park Visitor Center, make sure you stop by the little cafe thing that they have. The coffee cakes, had them at WWDC. So I went in to get a shirt and coffee cake. Well, I'll be honest, I definitely got a coffee cake. But I also bought a HomePod. Of course I did. Yeah. So, review coming for the HomePod. Luckily, I still have my old one, so I can compare, audio from the old ones to the new ones. So, yeah. HomePod. That was a very long drive, but spatial audio in a car, super cool, really cool. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the video.